Hi there. In this video I'm going to show you how to make this birthday card that I made using the Party This Way stamp set and the Settles Patterns designer papers. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and stamp the pennants on the white layer. And so I have my white layer here. We're using Pretty in Pink, So Saffron, Certainly Celery, and Baja Breeze. And then I'll just have to clean my stamp in between each color. The first thing I'm going to do is take my pennant stamp and ink it up with the Pretty in Pink. I need to start pretty close to the edge here in order to fit all of these on there. And then I'm just cleaning the stamp. And I'm actually going to do the Baja Breeze next because I think it's easier to try to do both outside edges, get them where they need to go, and then fill in afterwards. So there's Baja Breeze. And then I'll do the So Saffron. And these are supposed to look, a little bit off, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And the Certainly Celery. So there's the pennants. Okay, now that I have those done, I'm going to take my Early Espresso ink pad and I'm going to stamp the pennants again onto just these scraps of the polka dotted designer paper. And so these will all be stamped in Early Espresso ink. And it doesn't even matter if I get the scallop edge off the paper a little bit because that's going to get cut out. Okay, so once those are stamped, then I'm going to take my paper snips and just trim right on the inside edge of that scallop around each of these pennants. So now I have all four of my colors. I can get rid of this. And then I'm just going to take my snail adhesive and put a little dab of snail on each one of the pennants, just right onto the white cardstock. And then I'm just going to match up these little triangles inside each one, and that's going to fill it in with that dotted designer paper. Makes it so cute. Okay, so now that I have the designer paper in place, I'm going to go ahead, I shouldn't have closed my Early Espresso ink pad because I want to put Happy Birthday up there too. And this Happy Birthday wording is also in the Party This Way stamp set. I love this set. I'm getting a lot of use out of it. So ink it up good and then just go ahead and stamp your Happy Birthday greeting. Okay, so now that you've got everything stamped on there, you're ready to go ahead and take your paper piercing tool. And I'm just using one of the foam inserts from my clear block caddy. This works great. And I'm just going to, in between each little hole here at the top of the pennant, I'm poking with the paper piercer just to punch a hole through. Okay, now that that's done, I've just taken a wide-eyed needle and threaded some linen thread through here. This is about 9 inches or so of linen thread. And I'm going to start at one end and just go in from the front side. I'm going to grab this tail so it doesn't pull through. And then you're just going to stitch so that it looks like these pennants are all strung together. And you just want to make sure that you don't pull that end through. My needle is, the eye of my needle is just a little bit wider than these little holes, so it takes a little to get it through some of them if I didn't punch them big enough. Okay, so now we have the linen thread pulled through, and then you can actually just take and loosen this a little bit so it looks a little more natural. Pull those strings out a little bit. Then I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to put a little bit of snail right there by that linen thread and just tack this behind. Tack those ends and I'll trim this off. Okay, so we've got that on there. We can go ahead and put this card, start layering this card together. And I'm just going to use snail adhesive. To attach this right onto this So Saffron layer, and it's just a tiny little border. So you just center that on and adhere it, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this later, and we're just going to attach this to the crumb cake card front. And we'll just center that on the front. And then we just have one thing left to do. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is take, this is a 5.5 inch piece of linen thread. This is big enough to be able to tie it still in a little tiny bow. So you make your bow and then just kind of pull it till you get it to the size you want it. And I just kind of keep, with bows you just kind of have to keep playing with them until you get it how you want it. So there's one little bow, and then I need one more. Okay, so there's two little bows. Then we're just going to get our card front. And I'm going to take mini glue dots and just attach one to the first bow. And you kind of want to, you might have to scrunch that glue dot a little bit because it's got a lot more surface area than the knot on this bow, just so that it's not sticky still. And you just attach it to one end. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. Okay, so there's our two little bows, and then you can just trim the ends up. With the paper snips. So there's your finished card. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.